I taught myself mostly, and I've always bought and sold things. My dad had a small coin shop, and I wanted to open a pawn shop. Rick Harrison just told fans what they already knew. Adam's departure, Mr. Clumsy's incarceration, and the disintegration of everything he labored so diligently to construct are now realities. The Pawn Stars empire used to be a huge business, but now it's in a lot of trouble. How did it go from fame and fortune to this sad disaster? Watch to find out the truth about why the famous pawn shop Fame in a Pawn Shop is closing down. Pawn Stars wasn't just another show, it was built on hard work, determination and Rick's sharp instincts. He learned the trade from his father, a strict businessman who knew how to turn junk into gold. When the shop first opened, it was all about the deals, the haggling and the stories behind the items, but as soon as the cameras came in, Fame began to weaken. Life changes people, and the Harrison family was no exception. Before we go any further, it's clear that the Pawn Stars came at a high cost, and what happened next will shock you. On the surface, business was booming, but behind the scenes things were getting ugly. Lawsuits were being filed, money disputes were happening, and family members started fighting with each other. By the time the pandemic hit, the shop's profits had dropped from the millions of dollars they used to make to just barely making it at all. The big pawn shops in town are now owned by huge chains like Easy Store, which has about a 1,000 stores, and even though America has 1,000 stores like Walmart, Rick wasn't worried about money. What was going on in his own family was much worse. The specifics of Rick's son's terrible court case aren't clear, but it is clear that he will be punished severely. Rick tried to keep the news from getting out, but it did, and it hit him like a bomb. No parent wants their son's future to disappear, but for Rick, this was just one more thing to worry about. On TV, Chumlee is a likable nutcase, but when he's not acting, he's always making bad choices. When the police searched his house, they found shocking amounts of illegal drugs, registered guns, and enough proof to get him in a lot of trouble. He didn't go to jail, but his reputation took a huge hit because fans couldn't believe how the funny, laid-back TV guy got himself into such a mess, and it doesn't stop there. Rick's own mother turned against him. She sued him, saying he tricked her into giving up her business share while she was unconscious. We had to cut out half of the room's excitement just to film it because there was a cameraman, a soundman, and a cellar. The case asked for a full financial investigation into over $500,000. It was hard, but we got through it. Rick Chumlee was so hated by everyone. Even his mother, as if that wasn't bad enough. Corey, the responsible one, had his problem. He was careless, angry, and always getting into trouble. With a wrecked RV, unpaid bills, and bar fights, he made the family name even worse. This wasn't the image of a clean-cut businessman that the show tried to sell. Pawn Stars was less and less about small fines and more about problems in real life. As troublesome as the family itself, some of the so-called experts who appeared on the show were caught in domestic violence cases, and others were caught authenticating fake sports memorabilia, which caused a scandal that shook the whole industry. The show's credibility was falling, and fans could see that what used to be a fun and educational show about unique treasures was turning into a reality TV disaster. Pawn Stars used to have a lot of excitement and surprises, but as the seasons went on, Rick Harrison's magic started to wear off. There weren't any more spontaneous moments, everything felt too planned. Polished negotiations were less about the thrill of the deal and more about back and forth, and they always ended the way you'd expect in a family drama. That took the spotlight away from what made the show fun in the first place. Even the biggest Pawn Stars fans agreed that the show had changed. This was due to Rick's attempt to broaden his empire beyond the reality show, but, as with many other ambitious business ventures, Pawn Plaza ultimately failed. Local businesses blamed Rick for not promoting the area properly, which led to lawsuits, and whatever vision he had for the place turned out to be just another failed attempt to cash in on his fame. The show went on, but even the biggest fans couldn't deny that Pawn Stars wasn't the same. Rick knew the show wasn't as popular as before, so he invested in real estate and other businesses in hopes of some success. The shop had seen huge wins, crushing losses, and everything in between, but now even the deals were starting to feel off. People continued to enter, certain they possessed something precious, only to encounter a harsh reality. It seemed like more and more people were there to make a lot of money, but not everything was worth what they thought it was. Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech Talks. Today, I'm Alex, and we're going to talk about the incredible journey of voice AI and how it has changed our daily lives. When it looked like the shop was out of Picasso paintings, another seller came in with 2 prints. An etching of a dove adorned one print, while poor Roby adorned the other. Picasso made these prints, so even if you don't know much about art, you've probably heard of him. He's one of the most famous artists of all time, and a painting of his just sold for over $100 million. But just because something is real doesn't mean it's rare, and in the art world, rarity is everything. An expert looked at both prints and confirmed they were real, which was good news, but it didn't mean they were valuable. The dove etching was a mass-produced print, which meant that there were a lot of them. On its best day, it could sell for $200 or even more if the right person comes along. A collector made an offer, but Roby wasn't interested. It was an early version printed on high-quality paper, which made it more desired. In the right place, like an art auction or the hands of a serious collector, this print could sell for $800 to $1,500. The seller had set a price of $11,000 for both pieces, but Rick showed no interest in the dove print. He saw where the real value was and made an offer of $650 for poor Roby alone. The seller was hesitant to part with what he believed was more valuable, but he accepted the money despite the uncertainty of finding a buyer willing to pay a premium price. Do you think Rick Harrison is just having a rough time, or is something much darker tearing his world apart? We would appreciate your thoughts, and please remember to like and follow for more updates.